Greetings, champions, and welcome to Live with Shatufa. SONGEZO TSHABANGU's MPs cry foul after spending 9 months with no allowance from MNANGAGWA. This is really where people would say chickens come home to roost. We've been seeing what has happened in the country, with quite a lot of people having cried and complained over the way that SONGEZO TSHABANGU and his team decided to sell the struggle for freedom for Zimbabwe for a song, and they decided to join hands with the devil, and they stole the elections. They stole the positions that had been won by the Zimbabwean people in the last election. Although MNANGAGWA rigged, he still failed to get 2/3 majority. And unfortunately, we saw them employing these dirty tactics of having some that we thought were our own being given money and selling out the struggle. And we've always been talking about these MPs and saying that these are MPs that are never going to be accepted ever again in the struggle. Zimbabwean people are never ever going to give these men and women another chance again, because they've proven that all that they are doing is for their stomachs, and it's not for the purpose of the nation and also the purposes of freedom. And now there is a problem already because the MPs are complaining that they've gone for 9 months with no allowance coming from Emmerson Mnangagwa. And we are saying it is payback time. You joined ZANU-PF and you thought that ZANU-PF was going to be a good friend that was going to take care of you, not knowing that Mnangagwa is selfish. Mnangagwa only cares about himself. And now he doesn't have anything to do with them. For them to be going on for 9 months, really, it's really an issue. Because imagine if lawmakers, the people who make the laws in the country, the people that are in the highest house that makes the laws and dictates what happens in the country, imagine if they are going to go for 9 months without salary. What does that mean? Without any allowance coming their direction. And really this is I think they are just testing the bitterness of their own medicine. This is why they sold the struggle, thinking that they were going to sit pretty well. But unfortunately, it seems like things are turning around against them. ZimLife reports that MPs claim they've gone for 9 months without receiving allowances. And this is Gaston Mateo. You know him. I talk about him quite a lot, right? Zimbabwe's legislators say they've gone for 9 months without receiving fuel and other allowances from government, a situation they blamed for increased absenteeism among all their colleagues in the House. Speaking in Parliament on Thursday, Rushinga MP Tindai Nyabani said parliamentarians have been reduced to beggars as they were not getting their dues. We must not be begging as members of parliament, he said, adding, if we were promised to be given something, then it must come right on time. For example, if we're getting traveling allowances, fuel, I cannot remember when we last received those allowances. Nyabani said failure to receive their fuel allowances from Treasury has also affected mobility to their respective constituencies to discharge their community-based roles as legislators. We are talking about allowances which allow us to go to our constituencies to reach out to our people. Should we continue begging? He said. Nyabani said as MPs, they've also not received their constituents' development funds to champion different programs within their areas. We want the whole country to know that the CDF amount to US 50,000 that were told and which were supposed to be given have not been yet received, he said. Marondera Central MP Gaston Mateo also said legislators are now absconding parliament because they have not been paid since January this year. I want to stress that it has been 9 months since we got our allowances. I'm not sure about you, Deputy Speaker, but the members of parliament in this house have had 9 months without any allowance. That is why you see this house half empty. It is half empty because sometimes most of us are going into business, which is really killing the work of parliament, because we need to survive and our families also need to survive. Deputy Speaker Tsitsi Gezi chose to defer a response pending consultation with the relevant offices. Your points have been noted, but for today, I have no comment on that. We are going to consult so that we bring comprehensive information and adequate responses explaining the different points that you mentioned. I will not lie to you, but I want to consult and bring a concrete response next week. But one, she said. So this is what is happening. And, I think this is just, I don't know whether we can call it karma or whatever we can call it. But to be honest, I think these MPs, they are not just doing anything. They are there for ZANU-PF. They are there to push ZANU-PF business. I don't see why they should really ever be getting any of such allowances, because they are not standing for Zimbabwean people. They are standing for themselves, and they are standing for their pockets, and that is it. So we are saying now it is a situation of sour medicine being tested by these MPs, especially the MPs of Shabang, who joined Shabang to sell out our struggle. And I understand that Mateo was also saying that he's never going to be MP again after his term expires. And I was just saying to myself, even if he had wanted to be MP again, he's never going to get that opportunity. Zimbabwean people are never going to trust these people ever again because of what they've done. They've sold the struggle, and they've decided to receive money which ended up being in the hands of one individual who happens to be SONGEZO TSHABANGU, and he started to fire other people, and he ran away with the bag of money, only to also get sick. And right now, as we speak, he still remains in intensive care in Switzerland, sick, at the verge of death. So what is it going to help? You see how God punishes the greed for what they are doing against the freedom of the Zimbabwean people. They've not yet seen anything. They are going to suffer, these people, for selling out the struggle, for joining hands with the devil. And we have always been warning them and telling them that what they have done, Zimbabweans are never going to forget. Zimbabweans may forgive, but they will not forget what you have done to them to sell out the struggle. Right now, we could be somewhere with our struggle if really all our members had remained true members, and we could have continued to push ZANU-PF and all its principles. MNANGAGWA right now wasn't going to be comfortable enough to talk about 2030 if he knew that the parliament was in that state where he did not have 2/3. Now he speaks about it because he assumes that he's going to just sweep through parliament and have everyone voting for him to continue to 2030. So it's going to be interesting. And I think to some extent, when we start to see these MPs of Shabang complaining, that could also work against MNANGAGWA, because you never know what may happen. When MNANGAGWA brings his bill there, they may not also vote with the MNANGAGWA. They might end up voting against that bill. I don't know how many there are, of course, right now, now that some other seats were also donated to ZANU-PF. But if they'd also gotten all of those seats and decided to go against Shabang and MNANGAGWA, this was going to be a tough time also for MNANGAGWA. But anyway, this is how things are like. So we will continue to watch what is happening. But as for them, I don't think they deserve even a cent, because they are not even there according to the will of the people of Zimbabwe. They are thieves who are just trying to make themselves rich. So it's unfortunate for them, and it's a sour medicine that they have to test this time around. So this is what it is, family. We will be meeting in the upcoming shows as we continue to give you updates of what is happening in the nation, around the nation, and all over the world. Remain blessed till we meet in the upcoming show.